These nuts. These nuts. Multiracial white supremacy. Multiracial white... Okay. I think the audio's good.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. I hate that those all played at the same time. That's fine. We just have a couple problems, apparently, which seem to be prevalent in every single stream. Hey there. Hey there and welcome. Welcome to another live stream. It's Sunday, right? It's the Lord's Day, as I like to call it. Bing bong. Bing bong.
Royce.
Fuck, wrong sound. God damn it. Okay, hold up. I can figure this out.
Bing bong.
There you go. Bing bong. I don't know if that was ear rape. Let me know if that was louder than it needed to be. I'm hoping it isn't, but I unfortunately messed up on the placement of all those drops. But this one so far is becoming one of my favorite. Just
Bing bong.
Right there. TikTok, my friends. TikTok, it's where it's at. So welcome. Welcome. Again, we're here, we're queer, and we're in gear. Now, the topic of this entire actual live stream is going to be my experience at a magic lecture. And I forgot that I went to one. I forgot that I went to one in Magi Fest. You can't hear? Stop. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, man. What I want is I want the bing bong to make a sound. Don't tell me that you can't hear the bing bong. Let me see how it sounds. I want it to be ear rape. That's what I want it to be. But if it's not ear rape, then you're missing out on the main point of the joke. So let's go to bing bong.
Bing bong.
Okay. Don't tell me that, man. What I want is... Okay, let's see. Now I have to wait till the stream catches up on my actual phone. This is the production value you get on this show. You're not going to get this on Chris Ramsey's channel, Alex Pandrea. You only get this sort of content on this channel. So if you're not watching, if you're not subscribed, you're missing out. Okay. I think. Okay, let's see. I think I... See, there you go. You could hear it loud and clear. Bing bong. That video I've watched probably 100 times, as I have this one.
Okay, let's go.
200 times. Guaranteed I've seen that video. So I went to a lecture here in the 305 a couple days ago. And I wanted to share my experience with that. And I thought that was my first magic lecture. But no. My first magic lecture was actually in Magi Fest in Ohio, where the first time I went incognito. I went under a disguise as my true identity, right? And I was there just in the background lingering. And I went to a lecture there. The second time I went to Magi Fest, I didn't go to any lectures. I was hammered the entire time. I know that everyone went to watch the lectures. I didn't. I was spending time drinking. And I'm going to share my experiences here. Although I'm kind of upset, to be honest. I'm kind of upset because I've been trying to do a review for this deck for about a week. And I ordered a camera, an Insta360 Go 2. On eBay, and I think I'm getting scammed because the guy stopped responding and he printed the label for the actual product, but he didn't send it. And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had car issues this week." So I said, "Hey man, just cancel the order, I'll figure it out." So I'm upset because I've been waiting to use that camera on this particular deck, which is the new Fontaine Gaff deck by Kaylin Morelli, right? 1 of 5,000. So this is an illusion pack that I'm going to have to cut up. But I'm kind of upset that I haven't gotten that, or I'm potentially getting scammed from an individual. I mean, it's eBay, so you always get your money back. But I didn't want to, I have to now wait till the 24th in order for the actual shipping to expire, so then I could ask for a refund. But I asked the guy to cancel the order. So I hate eBay. I'm never going to use eBay again. And I might just consider Amazoning the actual Insta360, which, by the way, to me being a very cheap individual, I have to justify it in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm buying something for the production value, believe it or not, of the channel. So it's something that's worthwhile to spend money on. So that's my justification for it. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. And this guy hasn't responded. So I feel like a crazy ex-girlfriend. Am I the asshole? Because I've sent him a couple messages like, hey man, any update? Hey, dude, when are you shipping this out? And you know what? Maybe I might feel like a dick. But here's the thing. I recently sold a lens on eBay. And the moment I got the payment, I completely rained on to the post office and deposited the lens as quickly as possible, as safely as possible in a box. So I did my due diligence when it came to that. So I expect others to do the same. which is kind of shitty. So now I have to wait on this guy to cancel the order, so then I could reorder the camera that I should have had already to shoot this video. Is this first world problems? I feel like that's first world problems, right? The epitome of first world problems. But it's production value for the channel. So that's what I'm hoping you guys appreciate, that I'm spending funds on getting stuff so I can make videos that, you know, people might enjoy. And I wanted to do it with this deck because this deck is one that favors that sort of stuff. It's an illusion deck. It's not a gaff pack. It's an illusion deck. And Daniel told me, hey, man, I got something for you. This is from Daniel that he gave me this. And I didn't want it. I didn't want it because I hate cards. Like, I hate cards. But then I saw the video that Kaylin Morelli put out on Instagram. Let me actually look that up. I'm here talking, right? Like, this is a radio show. But I have production value here. I could actually look this up. Kaylin Morelli Instagram. Talk about an Italian name there. But yeah, I'm upset, man. I'm upset that I have to wait on this camera. And now I have to potentially reorder it, even though I've already ordered it. And I have to wait till a guy cancels the order, and he's ghosting me. He's ghosting me. So he found a loophole. I don't know if you know the way eBay works, but when somebody sends you something, they could print the label out, right? And then they have a shipping estimate. And you can't do anything until the shipping estimate has reached 1 day after it's supposed to ship to your house. So now I have to wait till the 25th so I could potentially cancel this order from this scammer. But the scammer, by the way, has other products that he sold, and he's gotten reviews during the time that we've had this transaction, which is a part that I'm confused about. So he's not scamming. He's just kind of retarded. Let's be honest here. So I'm trying to find the Nothing Experiment here on Instagram, and it's not loading. I don't know why it's not loading for me. How can magicians keep their audiences with them? It's true that audiences renewer every time. What's that mean? How can magicians keep their audiences with them? It's true that audiences renewer every time. I don't know what that means. It sounds like some sort of like I'm imagining an audience growing in some sort of like test tube from what you make it sound that way. Do you have any other Fontaine decks? I don't. This is the only one that I have. And actually, no, I do have another one that I think Daniel gave me. The carrots, maybe. Those are the only ones that I have, and I mean, whatever. Like, I don't care about them. But this one's interesting because it's an illusion deck. So I hopefully will be making a video tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to use the camera that I want to get because I guess it's not going to be here in time if I get it at all. But I guess we'll just figure out a way to do it so that it looks good. I can't load the fucking video. Let me see if I could find this up. I'm sorry you have to see the back end of the production value of this particular show here. I should have had all this stuff in the background, but I wanted to dedicate the entire live stream to talking about my lecture experience. So, okay, Fontaine Kaylin Morelli. If you're not familiar, I did a video on Kaylin Morelli. And what's his name? Kaylin Morelli and Jeremy Griffiths. Griffiths, right? I can't play that with the audio, but let me show you what this is that I'm going to be hopefully reviewing, that I wanted to review with a brand new camera, brand new production value, but unfortunately I'm just going to have to stick with what I got. So let's see if I could show you what it is that I'm talking about here. This is what the deck looks like right here. So it's not a gaff pack. It's an illusion pack. It's the difference between tricks and illusions. They're called illusions, Michael. Right, so this is what the deck is, essentially. It's just a bunch of cards that let you do illusions. And I've been wanting to get the POV perspective. I'm just bitching. Because I haven't gotten a response, and I feel like I'm being ghosted. But this is essentially what you could do with this deck. It's not a gaff pack. It just lets you do illusions. But I found it particularly interesting because I'm sure that magicians aren't going to like the fact that it's not practical. I mean, all this stuff is meant for essentially social media and where you could control the angles and whatnot, right? So that's an interesting little thing. That's the hot deck. There's one that you stretch out, the Ace of Spades, which I found hot. This one blew my mind when I first saw it, by the way, this thing, because it's assumptions, right? So you assume it's a box. No, it's a card on top of the box. Oh, you assume that this is a card box. No, it's a folded up card. How about this? You assume that that's just a normal thing, and it's not. It's all based on assumptions. Look at this hot thing, right? So it's a nice It's based on illusions. You're not going to get really tricks with it, but I like the concept. I really do like the concept, and this is what I wanted to review. But I don't know if just to shoot it or actually just wait till I figure out the situation with the camera. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. You do need to do some arts and crafts, right? But I think it might be well worth it. So that's the video that hopefully I'm going to be shooting tomorrow and putting on the channel, reviewing that deck. But I'm upset. I'm upset at eBay. I'm really, I feel like they've done me dirty, especially when I go through the effort, right? It's one thing if I order something from eBay, but it's another thing entirely if I go through the effort of when somebody buys my shit to go and even though it was raining, I walked to the post office. I don't have a printer. I have to go to Kinko's. I have to figure things out. I'm doing that. But this guy can't do that for my shit that I bought from him. Fuck you. Fuck you. So unfortunately, I have to wait till this cunt cancels the order to do that. I might just shoot it anyways. Can you describe it? Says Hungry and Hungover. Well, I think that video did a good job as to describing what the deck does. But it's interesting to say the least, right? I don't like the Fontaine fuckery and the whole Supreme model that they're trying to, you know, copy that idea of, oh no, we're gonna only print these and we're gonna sell it for a premium. But they're cool shit. So you have a bunch of gaff cards. You have these, which are dope, right? But it's an illusion deck. It's an illusion deck. So it's only going to appeal if you're doing stuff on social media. But you have a bunch of like cards like this, right? So this is kind of like, it looks like the side of a deck. So it's very interesting to say the least. I don't think anybody's ever released something like this ever before. So to see it is... And you see, and if you follow Kalen, right, he's been doing these for like a year. So finally, I guess he got somebody to print these puppies out, and happens to be the Fontaine Fuckboys. So that's going to be a video that's coming soon on the channel. But yeah, so I went to a magic lecture a couple days ago, and it was good. It was good. Joshua J was here in the 305 doing some book stuff, and he did a lecture at one of the IBM rings. If you're not familiar with what IBM is, it's International Brotherhood of Magicians. And his lecture is great. Joshua is very professional. Right, I just went to the lecture. I just attended it. But oh boy, does it taught me a lot about magic and magicians in general. And it taught me as to how viable it is to make a lot of money in a very short amount of time. And I'll elaborate more as this live stream goes through. But Joshua J, obviously, he's half of Vanishing Ink. I think him and Andy Gladwin do Vanishing Ink, which is, you know, one of the top magic companies, I guess you could call it, in the world. But so this meeting took place, or this lecture took place in a place called the Elks Lodge, right? So it's just like a club, I guess, where people meet up and do stuff. But holy shit, when I tell you that the average age is dead, and I say that a lot, right? Oh, haha, PigCake's making a joke about age. No, literally, the average age in this place was dead. It's deceased. There was a guy at some point waiting for the lecture that he didn't feel good and he had to sit down in a couch, and it's just a weird vibe there. And there's a couple of youngins, you know, there's a couple young people there, right? But you know, it's the audience that really stood out to me. The lecture was great. I got a bunch of ideas, some stuff that I never thought about before as to different handlings. And if you ever seen Joshua J at work, he's a professional. The guy's a consummate pro when it comes to his stuff. And I don't know if he knows me, right? I don't know if he knows me. I don't think it matters, right? I don't think anybody should know me personally in the magic community. But I didn't approach him. I didn't, you know, say, hey man, yada yada yada. I just wanted to attend a lecture and see what it's about. I figured that it's very easy to be like, hey, I have a semi-successful YouTube channel where I do stuff, you know. Hi, I'm kind of known in the biz per se, you know. We're one and the same. No, I went to the lecture, I saw it, and that's about it. But I didn't realize that there was an IBM ring here in Miami, right? I assumed that the magic scene was barren, and no, there's actually a scene here. But oh boy, is it weird. And lectures are a little bit odd, right? I have a goal when it comes to magic, and I want to lecture, right? That's my goal, because I like teaching. I like the idea of of going in front of people. I don't like this COVID shit where, oh no, it's lecturing, but we're doing it online, guys. It's a virtual thing. That's not the same. That's bullshit, right? So I want to lecture because, you know, I used to be a teacher, and it's teaching is different when you're doing something that they force you to, like history, whereas it's more passionate when you're doing it about something that you actually love, like magic, right? So I want to definitely do that and go and see how I could go about lecturing, and that's kind of my goal when it comes to this whole thing. But with that being said, there's a component that I'm neglecting, and that is the financial component of it. Right, because every lecture that I've ever seen, at least the ones that, you know, you buy online, you see them on Penguin Live, the couple that I've attended live, this one in particular, they have one common thread, and that is it's so hot for sales. It's unbelievable, right? And I'm not saying that Joshua J's lecture was a dealer demo, right? Which is kind of like a dirty word when it comes to, I guess, reviewing lectures, is that a lot of the stuff is things that you have to buy. Right, or he shows a lot of stuff that you have to buy, and I don't care about that, right? Because to me, when I attend a lecture, the thing that I care about the least are the tricks. I don't care about the tricks. I could go to a lecture that's, you know, a lot of money, and I don't care if the lecture happens to just be 4 tricks. I don't care about that. Right, what I care about is the little things that matter, little nuances and touches, and little things about, oh, flipping the deck here, or having a something in this pocket, or little nuances is what I think I get my money's worth. Not to be a complete virgin, right, when it comes to this, but this I feel like this live stream is going to be heavy on the virginity, so I'm warning you guys ahead of time. But so as far as the actual lecture is concerned, man, dude, the guy puts so much stuff that he sells, right? And I'm like, all right, you know, people are going to buy. People were coming out with handfuls of all his products that he was selling. It's just crazy how, you know, watching these tricks, it's enough for this audience, this market to exist. I didn't think that it was this apparent that you go to a lecture and you sell stuff, and then most of the money you're making on your sales. I might be obvious to some, but to me, when I think of a lecture, I think, okay, so this is going to be like a teacher-student thing, right? It's going to be a lecture. You're watching somebody speak. It's going to be interactive, and you know, maybe I could direct you to certain things and services that I offer. But man, it's a necessary component, and that's something that I guess, you know, you kind of have to go with, and you have to figure it out. But fuck, people were buying like 6 or 7 of his products at a time, and they weren't cheap. You know, I think the cheapest stuff he was selling was maybe $20, but everything was, you know, 30 and above, and it's great stuff. Don't get me wrong; it's wonderful, well crafted, well thought out stuff. So it's not just, oh, here's something that I made up, you know, on the way here. It's really thought out, well produced stuff, but. Man, this audience of I would say very elder individuals, right? Very old dudes. They were just buying this stuff, and they were. It's just surprising to me because I don't know if they're ever going to perform it. You know, you're buying something and you're going to perform it, and then you're hoping that you're going to make the money back, right? So you're going to make the money back in the purchasing of a product. I guess that's how you have to see it, right? Me being a cheap ass, all right? I'm very cheap when it comes to stuff, but then, mind you, you invite me to a bar, and suddenly I forget about my cheapness. But, for example, my issue with the camera now, right? This little camera that I want to buy to review the shit. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make the money back. So why not get it? All right, I'm going to make the money back. I'm going to make videos. It's going to help me produce content. So, okay, that's my justification. But when you're buying magic tricks, it's very difficult because you have to be working. You have to be active. You have to be doing stuff in order to actually get that back somehow. And people are just buying this, you know, hand over fist, I guess, if you want to call it that. And that's just something that I have to kind of, you know, understand that a lot of times magicians, when they do lectures, they make so much money, way more money than they make from the actual lecture themselves by selling their stuff. So it's not necessarily that it's a dealer demo where you're just showing stuff and you're selling it, but I feel like there's a massive financial component to that, and I don't see it that way. I just see it as, here's a lecture, you're paying for the lecture, so I'm going to try to give you your money's worth with the lecture that you have. Here are some other services that I have, but that's at your discretion. So that's how I feel when it comes to that. But the lecture that I went, it was here. And boy, man, let me tell you, magicians are weird, right? Magicians are definitely a weird group of people. And it's odd because I don't often interact with magicians, and I didn't when I came to this lecture. The people that I talked to were just people that went that have, you know, they attend that particular lodge. But magicians are a weird crew. Let me look at some of these comments. Sorry, I skipped them in my little aside here. There's another deck similar to that called Optrix. It came out a couple years ago. Yeah, I got that one too. But that one is actually a gaff pack. Like, you actually could do a lot of stuff. With this, it's like maybe 2 things that you could do, and the rest are illusions. Yeah, but magicians believe they're doing real magic. I had weird conversations with some of them. Charles Shipman says he knows you. All right. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. So much better in the streams with Danny. Very enjoyable. That's funny. Tell him that. Make sure to tell him that my streams by myself are more enjoyable than the ones with Daniel. Wait, how old are you? I've mentioned this before. Age reveal. Hashtag age reveal. But I'm 31. Right, I'm 31 years old. I've mentioned that in a couple live streams before. It doesn't matter. I used to be private about my information, but it seems like it doesn't matter because if you have enough virginity, you could find anything. Illusion sounds better than magic too. Not only are you honest, but it's also a cooler word and doesn't sound crazy. I guess, but it makes you sound like kind of like a bigot, right? Like, no, I do illusions. I don't do tricks, or I don't do magic. That's beneath me. That's how it sounds. Wouldn't it be awesome to have a PigCake Academy in person? Yeah, that's kind of what I want, man. That's always been my goal when it comes to this, is to do lectures. And I have one 80% written out, right? I have one set up with a theme, like a bunch of underlying themes, tricks that could show those themes. So I have one that's like 80% done. I just started it and then got lazy and never finished it because, I mean, when am I going to have an opportunity to lecture in person? But boy, I realized too, by the way, that looking at my lecture and then comparing it to this one, right? There's a lot that needs to, you know, be finagled with and changed and added and taken away and done that, because you watch some guy that's done this lecture potentially hundreds, if not thousands of times, and you could see that in the time, and you could see that in the way that he teaches things. You could see that in how he presents things, right? I'm not saying that mine would be rusty, but I'm saying that mine, I think, is focused more on... I'm a retard when it comes to any sort of marketing or any sort of, I guess, accumulation of funds, right? When it comes to that, I'm a retard, right? I just do what I can on Patreon, do what I can on YouTube, and then that's it. But you have to think about it as you are selling not only yourself, but you're also you're trying to sell product. And I think that's the goal when it comes to lectures. And I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. The word demo is so old, I never heard of it outside of the 3 times I heard magicians say it. Well, I'm referring to a very specific type of lecture, right? And I've seen a lot of lectures on like Penguin Live that are what I call dealer demos. And these are very specific, and these are almost entirely products that the person sells, right? And again, that's fine with me, but if it becomes less about understanding why the person makes it and more about him just trying to shill a product, I don't like that. But when it came to this lecture in particular, I enjoyed it because you see his insight. You see how he's thinking about certain things. And there's, even if it's a coin gaff, you know, he talks about his process as to, you know, oh, this is the reason I do this. So there's a lot of reasoning as to what it is. And that's the information that I find valuable. Unfortunately, as was displayed to me, magicians are whores and they're sluts. And when they see something they like, they're impulsive. And they go, oh, yeah, I want to buy that. I'm going to buy that and all of it. It's like, well, are you really going to use it? Is this something that's going to help you out long term? Is this something that you're going to perform? Are you going to get the money back? And I don't think they think that when it comes to attending lectures. I think they're impulsive. They see something they like and they go, oh, and you know what? I could take advantage of that potentially. But I don't know. I just feel iffy about that. I guess I'll have to finish the lecture that I have written up. And I would love to perform it, or actually do it for this particular crowd, because boy, the average age was definitely 70 for this particular place, and I have to imagine that it's... Oh, there were also kids. Okay, so that kind of throws it off. There were also maybe 2 or 3 kids, but man, it was rough in terms of just the age. But let me tell you, man, if you want to at least make somewhat of a living, get a name and then sell stuff, make a lecture and sell stuff. Once the pandemic dies down, just hit a penguin. Penguin Live would break the internet. I've thought about it. I talked about it with Turner, right? I'm like, oh man, I'd love to do one, but I don't know. I feel, let me tell you, watching Jabrizi, speaking of people mentioning him in the comments, watching his lecture and trying to think about, you know, oh my God, what are people going to think about it? I don't have anything to worry about. I could probably go to Penguin Live, belligerent, drunk, hammered, and still probably do a better lecture than that. So if that's my baseline, I'm fine, right? There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to be nervous about. But Penguin Life, I like the format. I definitely like the format, and I would probably enjoy doing that a lot. But I don't know. I again, rather do it in person. I'd rather do it in person. So if I do, I mean, if they give me the opportunity to do a Penguin Live, I haven't reached out to them. But ideally, I'd like to have lectures done in person before I do that. I wouldn't want just to do that as my first lecture. That feels like I wouldn't be doing as much of a service to the people that buy it as I would if I refine it and get it better. I think I have a pretty good lecture, right? There's themes, there's stuff interwoven, there's I guess more relevant thing than tricks explaining it, but I definitely need to refine it, and I wouldn't want to do that in such a permanent state and then have it be trash. I think that would be the worst thing. Is there a huge group of traveling magic speech people like in high schools and such? Well, there are lecturers that go around, you know, they get hired by, I guess, these people like IBM and whatnot, and they do lectures and they do stuff like that. But I don't think it's huge. I think it's very minimal. Message retracted. That's always good to see when people are retracting messages. Hey, if somebody asks you to perform a card trick, what's been your go-to if you want to make an impression? Well, I'm lazy. Right, I'm lazy, so when it comes to that, if I'm being molested to do a card trick, which is what it feels like, right? That's a great way to phrase it. It's very simple, very simple. All right, so there's a couple things, and I hate to be such a virgin about this, but I think I've explained this on the channel before. It's essentially in any card, right? Any card at any number. So if I'm forced to do something, right? It's deck, mixed, and then one person you're turning to, and you go, I want to spread these cards out. I want you to think of one that you could see, right? Go ahead. I want you to think of one you could see. Of course, what are they looking at? All right, they're looking at one card. That's it. So that's that taken care of. And then here you could play it up. Do you know this person? Do you happen to know this person well? Well, we'll see about that. Now, I want you to look at this particular person and, you know, the first number that comes to mind. I want you to tell this person the first number that comes to your mind. And whatever number they say, let's say it's 10, right? At this point, you could do whatever method for any card at any number. I like this little switch that I've put on the channel before. I don't know if you could see that from this angle. Right, but it's this little switch that I've taught many times. Let's say you count down to that particular card. It's, I believe, a variation of Emran Rias's ninja move or whatever, shinobi control. But I've realized a long time ago that you don't have to do it from a spread. You could do it counting. So if you count the cards like this, you could do a very effective switch. So that's the 10th card that you count down to. Guess what? It's going to be the card that this person's thinking of. So if I'm anally penetrated to do a card trick, that's what I'll do. Something like that, which is simple. It doesn't require a lot of effort. That or extraordinary proof. So this force, right? And then extraordinary proof by Andrew Gerard. So that's a fun one, right? That's a fun one. But I like this, and a lot of people don't do this because they're afraid of oh my God, what if they go, that's the only card I saw? Well, I mean, they're still impressed because how did that card get to that number? It doesn't make any sense. So it's all kind of wraps it up in a nice little bow. So if, again, I'm being forced to do a card trick, that's it. There you go. That's what I would do. That or Back in Time by Jay Sankey for the 90th thousandth of a time. But that's a very simple one, right? And a nice little opener. That's an insult to people intelligence. If you did that to me, you'd be missing a wallet. I don't know what you're talking about. If I did what? That trick? How do you know if a trick could be uploaded to the internet or not? If you could do it more than once, or is that a secret? How do you know if a trick could be uploaded? I guess what you're asking is, how do I know if it's okay to post a trick? right? And here's the thing: magicians are really, I hate to use the word gay here, but I'm going to use it like in a middle school sense. Relax, okay? Hillary Duff.
Bing bong.
Okay, so it depends. It really depends. You don't want to put something out that somebody's selling, or you don't. You don't want to put something that somebody else has made without permission or crediting. You don't want to put something out that is, something that you morally shouldn't, right? Because there's no rules. COVID. So when it comes to magic, you could upload whatever you want. Technically, you could teach whatever you want. It's shitty, right? So I could see a trick by someone. I could buy a trick from someone. Let's say I buy a penguin magic, and I could show you on a YouTube video. And if I really didn't give a fuck, that's what I would do, right? But I think that, again, as virgin-y as it sounds, you have a moral obligation to the art. And if somebody's selling something that they've made, that they've invested time, money, effort, you don't want to do that. That's shitty. It makes you a shitty person. So I think that you definitely have to walk in that little, fine line. But there are some people that think that you shouldn't teach anything online. And, they're usually people that have that are part of IBM rings. Let's see this one. Yeah, you were correct. Intense virginity. Yeah, right? This is a magic heavy one. I wasn't expecting to be so virgin-y when it came to this particular live stream, but I guess I wanted to share my experience when it came to this lecture. Have you and Jabrizi spoken outside of the YouTube sphere? Like, do you know what he's like in person? No. And I've asked people that know him. And you know what? I'm starting to become a fan of Jabrizi. I know. People might be saying, whoa, PigCake, you're an idiot. I'm a fan of Jabrizi now. I think I'm becoming a fan. I saw a video that Jabrizi posted. Let me see if I could find this. Jabrizi exposed or something on Instagram. Let's see if I could find the video. Who is Jabrizi? But he has a video on Instagram that I've been wanting to replicate. But unfortunately, I fucking can't grab enough people to do this video. Right, he posted it on an alternative account, which is kind of odd because it's obvious that it's his account, right? But let me see, Jabrizi. Okay, so Jabrizi, come on, man, you know the thing. Come on. So what I'm looking for is this particular account that I don't have here, Jabrizi Unseen, maybe if it's that. I hope it's that Unseen. Why is Instagram on Edge such a fucking nightmare? My goodness, dude. Okay, Jabrizi Unseen. It's a video essentially of Jabrizi pretending like he is a celebrity, and he's getting pretty much, I want to say the word accosted, but that might be incorrect, by paparazzi. That's kind of what the video is. And I lost my shit when I first saw this video because of the balls that he has to have. Come on, man. Mikey! I don't know if anybody's ever seen that video, but it's definitely a funny one if you want to look it up. Come on, man. Jabrizi. Okay. Jabri. How is this so hard to find? It's a different account, right? I hate to have to look this shit up here or have to mention it without showing you guys because I do have the ability to show you guys, but Jabrizi. Oh, man, Microsoft Edge, you're really making me want to find the nearest school and change some lives. I guess I don't want to go on Chrome, though. I'm logged in on Chrome, and I don't want to do that. So that's the part that I'm kind of feeling shitty about here. Let's go here. My goodness. Instagram. Jabrizi Unseen. Okay, I think this might be it. Come on! I'm terrible television. I apologize to you guys. See, Instagram is saying, hey, wait a few minutes before you try again. Before I do what? Did he delete this account? What's going on here? Jabrizi Unseen. Okay, this is his Instagram. You know, fuck it. I'm sorry. You're not going to see it. Sorry. You're not going to be able to see this. I apologize profusely. Right? The video, I have it on my regular Instagram. But trying to find it here on Edge is the equivalent of a fucking nightmare. So, yeah, I can't even log on to show you here. But let me see if I could do it ghetto. This is the ghetto way of me doing it, which is having to do this. So, okay, it's Jabrizi Unseen. Okay, I found the name of the account. Jabrizi Unseen. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, is this ever making me want to find the nearest mall. Jabrizi Unseen, Instagram. God. How is this so hard to find? How is this so difficult to find right now on Bing? Seriously, with all the money that Bill Gates has accosted or allotted to things, how is it that this is so difficult to do on this browser? Okay, Instagram.com. I have to log in. Instagram.com/Jabrizi Unseen. Okay, let's see if that... I'm not happy right now. I don't care. I'm going to do... Fuck it. I'm going to find it. I don't care. All right? I know this might be bad. This might be terrible TV. This might be awful to look at. But I'm going to do it until I fucking find it. And I'm not going to... You're not going to force me to log in, Instagram. You're not going to force me to log in. So suck my nuts trying to get my information on all my browsers. Suck my nuts. I can't do it. Fuck it. I give up. I'm sorry. I give up. Well, it's not that I can't find it. It's that I have it here, but I don't want to have to log in on Edge. The point of me using Edge is that I have no information on it. So if I log into that, then that's going to defeat the purpose of me using Microsoft Edge. But I have the video here, which is kind of shitty, right? And it's oh, deleted the comments too. He deleted all the comments here. I'm not going to show you the video like this because this is kind of ghetto, right? To do it like this, right? But it's Jabrizi, right? And he is he's going through a parking lot. And again, I have to apologize that I'm showing you the video like this, but it's trying to make it seem like paparazzi is going after him, right? So it's videos like this that make me a fan of him. So this is definitely stuff that's making me be a fan of Jabrizi. Look at what he does to this guy. So this guy's trying to record him with an iPad, and he's trying to get Jabrizi before he gets into his, I don't even know what that car is, a Tesla maybe. And then he grabs his iPad, I believe. And I think he, there you go. Look at that. I'm sorry. I missed out on the crucial part. And he gets him in some sort of chokehold, right? So I'm going to replicate this. I'm telling you now, I'm going to do this video. So I'm going to do it. And my problem is that I've had a hard time getting all my buddies in the same place at the same time so I could do a video like that. But they're pretty much asking Jabrizi. They're like, oh, man, hey, dude, what's going on? You're dating some model now? What's happening, man? Dude, what's going on? And that makes me a fan of Jabrizi. It makes me a fan of Jabrizi. It makes me a huge fan of Jabrizi because that video lets me know that there's no way he posted a video like that with the intent of having it be real to an audience. There's no way. There's no way. Absolute no way that he would post a video like that with the intent to make it seem like, oh, he's actually getting stopped and you know, harassed by paparazzi. He put that video in the hopes that he would catch and reel in retarded magicians that get upset at the thought that they think that he's posting that video with the idea that it's real. That makes sense. Okay, just slow down. So he's doing that with the intent to troll, to get these magicians upset. And that makes me a fan of his. That makes me a fan of Jabrizi. Now, here's the opposite of that. If he's posting that video and he really has the intent to make it seem like, you know, oh, guys, this is what I deal with. I deal with paparazzi stopping me all the time. I'm trying to get into my fluorescent green Tesla custom, but I'm getting all this paparazzi. I feel like, you know, it's if he's posting that for real, then he's actually retarded. But he's posting it with a true intent, and a true intent is to get magicians upset because it's so obviously fake. Top Notch says, so glad all the live streams happen when I'm at work now. It makes my screen time look a lot better. Screen time? Why does that sound like you're like a kid? You know, like your parents only allow you to have a certain amount of screen time. Look at that vaporwave. I'm obsessed with I love Asian women, and watching just, you know, these vaporwave commercials really gets that going, you know. Jabrizi's playing 40 chess. So yeah, so that video really made me a fan of Jabrizi. And no, I haven't had any interaction with Jabrizi outside of little comments here and there. That's about it. He hasn't really messaged me outside of the time when he's like, we got to debate. That's it. That's the only time that he messaged me was we got to have a debate. And I mean, I don't know. Nothing's come of that, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm ready. I mean, I don't have to prepare for any sort of argument. I'm planning to do it hammered, right? I'd love to do it in person. In person will definitely be more interesting. I feel like that would be a conversation. But I don't even know. I don't even know because it might just be 2 hours of us agreeing with each other. That's what it might be. This debate might just be 2 hours of agreeing with each other and how shitty and terrible magicians are, right? Which I feel like would be the best thing. Could you imagine if we're just having this? People are expecting these fireworks. People are expecting these dissection of points that he has to make. But no, we're just agreeing with each other. Yeah, magicians suck, dude. And then it just ends. So it's 30 minutes of debate and an hour and 30 minutes of blowing each other. That's what I'm anticipating it to be. Let's see. I liked your last video, but can you please put a forehead cam in the next one? It's not fair. Your feet get all the screen time. My forehead gets enough of the screen as it is, so I don't need to have a dedicated one. But you know what? If I bought this fucking camera, which I'm getting scammed on eBay for, if I buy it, if I ever buy it, or if I ever get it, there's a forehead thing, so I could put it and aim it at my forehead. So you know what? That might actually happen, PigCake's forehead account on this comment section, if I don't get scammed. And or if I decide to buy this fucking camera that unfortunately on eBay decides to stick their finger in my butt and have me ghost me. Is this what it feels like to be ghosted? I'm getting ghosted by a guy. So maybe I might have a dedicated camera. PigCake likes PigCake likes white women and he likes Asian women because they're the whitest minority. He probably thinks Kyle Rittenhouse didn't murder that poor guy that was just trying to shoot him. Kyle Rittenhouse. I haven't seen that one before. So I don't know if that's something that you've seen before, Top Notch, or if that's genuine beliefs or genuine sentiment. That's it makes me lol. A comment like that makes me lol. That's really un-American of you. It's the USA. It's innocent until proven guilty. That's nice of you. Now he has at least one fan. Well, he says he has people stop him on the street all the time. So I don't know. But not to beat a dead horse here, but I guess we brought him up because of the lecture and his Penguin Magic lecture, which was a modern atrocity, to be honest. And but what's weird, okay, here's my hypothesis, right, as to why I think that video that I just showed you in a shitty way might actually have the intent of being thought as real, right? Which is he deleted the comments. All the comments were like, dude, this is fake, this is shitty. And he deleted the comments. Why would you delete the comments if your goal is to try to get magicians upset? So he disabled the comments on it. So he might actually be special needs. But I'm liking what he's doing here, man. It's all this fakery stuff. Is this that Indian guy? Is this that weird Indian guy? No, it's not. Okay, never mind. Because I thought this was that weird Indian guy that I made a video about before on TikTok. The guy that's just like balloon. It's blue. Like he talks to you like you're retarded, which everyone on TikTok does. But I don't know. I don't know if Jabrizi is trying to get people to think that that's real, or if Jabrizi is aware of it, if he's self-aware. If he's self-aware, then I'm a huge fan of Jabrizi. If he's somebody that's self-aware of his stuff and is someone that is actively putting this stuff in the community to get magicians upset, I'm a huge fan of that. But if it's done for real with the intent of trying to present this character, and that's when I am anti-Jabrizi. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, he hasn't reached out to me. I haven't reached out to him, to be honest. But you know, it's been a while, Piggy. How's your leg? And did you ever resolve the accident? Wow, so it's definitely been a while. Jack's regret. Well, it's good. I didn't go to therapy, which is what everyone recommended. Nor did I get surgery for it. I just kind of wrote it out. It's been fine. I'm walking every single day. And yeah, I got a settlement from that, which was peanuts, because it's definitely not worth what I had to be out of commish for as long as it was. And I hate that it really wasn't anything that affected her, right? It was just through her insurance. But that's kind of the shitty part about it. But yeah, everything's fine. And it's good that you're back, man. It's good that you're checking these out. Let's see. Bottom Notch is giving top right now. Lamal, that's called a bar. My negus. My negus. I don't know what a negus is, but it sounds racially motivated. And in these trying times, you can't be doing that. Hey, do you show your face now? Yeah, that's great. I love that. I love that. That's what I got when I first went to Magi Fest, and I've mentioned it before, that people were approaching me like, dude, are you PigCake? You're showing your face now. You're hiding it? I'm like, yes, I'm not hiding it, you motherfucker. You haven't watched my videos clearly, but I still get some comments like that from time to time, believe it or not. Like, oh, this is what he looks like. This is what it is that he looks like right now. He looks like a dirty Arab. I've been using different what do you call this? I've been using as I mentioned before, a bar conditioner and bar shampoo, so my hair is extra puffy and voluminous because of that. And well, yeah, I could tell with the green screen that it's there, right? Usually I have it tied up, but I look like an Arab oil salesman, right? Like I sell various types of oils in not like oil like petroleum, but like oils like argan oil. That's what I feel like I look like. This podcast is awfully sus, if you say so. I mean, I don't know what's so sus about it, right? Have I said anything that's sus? Like, I haven't mentioned anything about me wanting to bounce on my boy's dick, right?
Bing bong. Bing bong.
Okay, I haven't mentioned that, so it hasn't really been particularly sus. But, so the lecture that I went to, right, I keep getting distracted from it. So, the lecture, it was great. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I really did learn a lot from Joshua J. and how he presented it. But there's a lot that I also kind of, see in the magic community that's a little bit iffy. And I don't know if I like that aspect of lecturing. But I don't know if... I don't know if to take advantage of that. That's my issue, right? Because there's obviously a market, and there's obviously, if I, come up with stuff, I could definitely sell it. But I don't know if I like that aspect of it, right? We'll see. But the lecture was about 2 hours, and he went over some stuff that I've never really seen. There's a couple stuff that obviously I've seen throughout the years. That's his work. But there's a couple different takes on little things and little nuances, and there's this great handling of Shuffleboard by Simon Aronson that I busted a load all over that. And he had this great trick at the end. His last trick is tremendous. He does this deck matching effect where the spectator shuffles a deck and he shuffles a deck and all the cards end up matching. And it's fucking great the way everything's laid out. But boy, man, performing for that crowd is tough because, I don't even want to allude to the certain, there are younger people in the audience, to say the least. There were a couple special ones. And at first I'm like, wow, why is this guy being loud? That guy's being a little bit loud. But, and then I realized, okay, he did it 4 or 5 times. It's because he's special. So that stood out to me in the actual thing. Bassmaster says, tell me about the bird, which is the bald eagle. Can I make that? Can I make that as a reference? I can't make that as a reference without fear of finding out where the reference is from. Or a busboy at Tom Norris. What's Tom Norris? That sounds like a weird, effeminate strip club. Yes, he is. Do you know how I look? Says PigCake's forehead. Thank you for that. Fuck, there was one here. Hearing you laugh after watching your videos for several years seems weird, right? Yeah, there are some that don't connect the face with the voice, and then especially that you only saw the first videos from crotch down, and this was avoided. But I regret it. That's one of my biggest regrets of this channel, was not showing my face earlier and missing out on potential content that I could have made. I did a review, Daniel brought it up the other day, of a mushroom deck, right, where I was covering my face, and I didn't like that. I feel like the video would have been way funnier had I been able to show my face. The Hot Chips episode would have been way funnier. There were also a bunch of other ones that I did that I hate looking back on now, because I'm like, I could have just, avoided all the trouble, avoided all the issues, and just done it. But like a retard, I decided to compromise and go, no, I don't want to show my face. I'm not going to show my face. And I think I know why. And that's for Bassmaster. Let's see. Let me look through this. But the lecture was great and really gets me thinking as to how to potentially structure a lecture, because you have a couple trains of thought when it comes to that. Do you want to structure a lecture that's focused on what you think a lecture should be? Or do you want to make a lecture that's going to be something that people want? Because people, unfortunately, want trick. They're not going to all be like me, right? So when I want to see a lecture, I want to see subtleties. I want to see reasoning, why stuff was made. I want to see how a trick evolved. I want to see the virgin shit, right? I don't want to see trick because I'm not going to do trick. But most people want to see trick. And they get upset when you don't do that. And they get upset when you're talking about, history and things that happen. And I hate that. And that's the shitty part. So my lecture, the one that I kind of made up, is one that's focused on that and ideas and more so than tricks. Yes, there's tricks, but I think it's a little bit better than that. And I think that that's not going to fly. I don't think that's going to fly. I think it should lean more on showing tricks. And it's just kind of an odd thing to see, right? And I also, the other lecture that I saw was, who's the Spanish guy? There's a Spanish magician that he did this wonderful stuff with half a stack deck. And he was at Magi Fest. He's bald. Woody Aragon. Right, Woody Aragon was a great lecture because his stuff was, okay, here's a book that I have, but here's things you could do with the stack. Here's how to do the stack. And if you want, refinements, here's the book. But it wasn't all. So that I think is a nice, good point. Danny D'Artiz's lecture, which I remember seeing, was just, hey, let me do any card at any number for an hour and 30 minutes. That's essentially what Danny D'Artiz's lecture was, if I could recall that from watching him at Magi Fest, was let me do any card at any number to 4 magicians for an hour and a half. And you're there like, okay, that's cool. Okay, I get it. Okay, that's enough. All right, that's enough. And he just keeps going, shuffle. Okay, the good card. And now tell me a number between 21 and 23. 22, free choice? Okay, now what's your card? All right, deal down. That's essentially what the lecture was. And I still have the opinion that Danny D'Artiz speaks perfect English. And that he's just lying. He's just a lying asshole. And he's just telling people, oh, no, I speak Spanish. No. You speak perfect English. So you could take advantage of that and then do little forces and stuff. It was still great. The lecture was great, don't get me wrong. But oh boy, was it an hour and a half of magic porn to magicians, because you're doing any card, any number for an hour and 30 minutes, which was hysterical to watch. And how good he is at improv. That's the other part that you watch when it came to Danny D'Artiz's lecture. But I think that was different because it was in a convention. So a convention lecture might be a little bit different than a lecture that you see separate from that. Good evening, Mr. Cake. I'm trying to remember what lecture on Penguin. My favorite one is Bill Montana. That's my favorite Penguin Magic lecture because it was so fucking weird and it was so odd, and I don't think he's self-aware. And watching that one, I lost my mind just because of, you have like a list of effects, like 22 different effects, and then you watch them and you're like, what? Was that the effect? Okay. Because on the Penguin Magic description, right, it says, oh, he's going to make an audience member feel an invisible orb in their hand. And then you look at the effect, and the effect in person is like this. Okay, so hold your hand out. Now I'm going to place an invisible ball in your hand. Can you feel it? Yes? That's a trick. That's a trick. Which, to his credit, right, in a lecture like that, it's not going to work. This guy's doing stuff for people like my mom, essentially. People that are into energies and people that are into like spirit stuff. So if you do that for the right crowd, you're going to have them, pretty much lose their minds. But to a group of magicians, you're not going to have them react in any sort of profound way. That's why that Bill Montana lecture was hysterical to watch. And I recommend everybody to get that lecture because it's probably one of the funniest to watch. Yo hablo un poco español. Actually, no, español, because you didn't put the ñ. You didn't put the ñ there, which was a fun part of the Spanish alphabet. Just wondering, do you script all your performances? Well, I don't have performances to script because I don't perform. Your boy's out here just making stuff. I like creating stuff. I don't like the performance aspect of magic. I do have scripts of tricks, as virginy as that sounds. I do have some scripts. Sorry, I got distracted because I keep refreshing my email in the hopes that this fucking guy on eBay is not going to ghost me and tell me that he's going to cancel my order, but not happening. But yeah, I have some tricks that are scripted, but I think it should be a combo, right? If you're going to script, it should be a combination of you're allowing yourself to have moments where you could banter with the audience and you could still have a structure when it comes to what it is that you're presenting to the audience. The worst magicians are the ones that have a script and it's like a theater performance, right? Where they're, doing the overacting, and if anything happens that's outside of that, they go, oh shit, all right, and they don't know how to behave, right? So I think you want to be in a mix, right? You want to mix them up. So let's see. Woody Aragon, yes, is hungry. Fuck me. Let's see. Woody has a crazy trick on Penguin called Dorset. It's a version of Paul Harris's reset with all backs and cards to box with 8 cards, no gimmicks. Check it out. That sounds interesting. That sounds like a cool thing. Although I do think, I don't know, watching a bunch of like these Instagram videos, I forgot who, it might have been Magician Roasted that put one out maybe like 3 months ago. That I forgot what magician it was, but it was like 19 things happening, right? So it's like 14. It was oil and water, but the cards are different, and then the cards switch places. I forgot who was a performer, but all the comments were like, "Oh my god, this is great! Whoa, dude, good!" But you don't know what the fuck's going on. So just reading that description, hungry and hungover, reminds me of that. Let's see. I'm now interested in this lecture idea. Where can I get it on video? Are you talking about the Bill Montana one? The Bill Montana one's on Penguin Magic, if you look it up. And it's my favorite lecture, just out of humor, right? You're not going to get some stuff from it, but you might. It depends on who you perform for. You could always do a live lecture on Only Theory and keep saying, we'll go to the tricks in a bit every 5 minutes to stop anyone from walking out. That's funny. How annoying would that be, though, if you're doing a lecture and people actively walk out? Maybe they do that when my lecture starts with just 5 minutes of racially charged humor, right? Like, you know how magicians have openers? They have like little lines, like little cute lines. They start with like, hey, I'm the wandering magician. I'm just wondering if I could show you a trick. Mine would be 5 minutes of just the most hardcore, racially motivated humor. You can't even call it humor at that point. It's like, what's that anti-comedian? Gabby Hanna? It's like that, but on the opposite side. That's how it starts. And then if you stay past that, if you stay past those really rough 5 minutes, then I give you the lecture, right? Then it's like, oh, hey guys, you guys stuck around. All right, I guess we could actually do the lecture. And then it's like one guy that stays, essentially. But that's an interesting thing. That reminds me of Samuel Hyde. That his stand-up is essentially, let me see how many people I could get angry at me for the next 30 minutes. And he's having arguments with the crowd as opposed to making jokes. He's just there for 20 minutes arguing with people back and forth. And that's funny to him. So technically the routine is for him. It's not for the audience, which I've always found interesting. But if you have an opportunity to watch a lecture in your town, check it out. Check it out. It's an interesting experience, right? It's an interesting idea to try to see what it is that is the structure of a lecture and to see how the magicians react to it, right? It's one thing to go for the tricks, but I went mostly to see, firstly, if I could meet people that are here that are magicians. I didn't want to do that at this particular lecture, I feel. But as far as just seeing it for the structure, I think I did get a lot, right? And I did get a lot of insight as to what magicians want when it comes to lectures and what works, man. Because, damn, people were coming out with just handfuls of a shit. I'm like, wow, that's kind of nuts. And I think that was kind of the point of that particular lecture. But it kind of gave me some good ideas for that. So I recommend it. If you have a lecture in your part of town, check it out. If anything, you're going to have an interesting story in that you go, and maybe somebody could have had a heart attack, right, in the context of the lecture. Maybe somebody could have, had some sort of old man episode because the audience is pretty much mostly old. And I don't know if it's just because here You know, it's all the magicians here are typically older. But I don't know if that's the vibe where you are. I feel like in New York, it might be opposite. If you have a lecture in New York, it might just be more of a younger group, whereas here, it's an older crowd that's into that. Miami used to be a very bustling city for magic, from my understanding. You had a lot of magicians that lived, a lot of well-known magicians that have contributed a lot living on, you know, the beach, living downtown. But now it's gone. It's gone. They're all dead, essentially. But you still have that leftover as to those magicians from the before times. Self-defense grenade plush. I don't know if that would work. Right, a self-defense grenade plush, maybe. To find a company and say, hey, hi, I'm looking to manufacture a grenade. The joke is that I keep saying that I'm going to use a grenade in self-defense, right? You know, because just in case my life's being, if my life's in risk, I have to defend myself, you know, in a reasonable way. And I feel like a grenade is that. Can you please produce it for a reasonable price? I feel like that's what.
Bing bong.
I feel like that's what it would end up. $1 Million Extreme, RIP. RIP to $1 Million Extreme. It was gone before. It was gone too soon. Gone too soon. Danny D'Artis's tricks works for him. For others, is a little bit more difficult. And I think there's nothing worse in magic than watching somebody do a Danny D'Artis trick. I think I want to be honest here. Watching Danny D'Artis perform it is one thing because he's great, right? As much as I believe that he's a liar because he speaks perfect English, I do think that watching other people perform Danny D'Artis stuff is probably the cringiest thing you could do, because a lot of the tricks are based on attitude. They're based on comfort. Like, they're based on assumption. They're based on the sort of air that he has, right? And then you're trying to copy that air while it's still trying to be yourself. It comes off as very cringy. So if you ever want to cringe watching magic, not COVID, watch somebody do Danny D'Artis' stuff. It's rough. It's rough to do, because it's he also does this weird force a lot, right? This one where he goes, oh, good card, yeah, okay, nice. And watching people do that, it's just odd, because he gets away with it because of his personality, because of how he is, because of the fact that he's trying to pretend that he doesn't speak English, right? So a lot of things are name a card, and then a person says 5 of spades, and he goes, 5 of what? And by that time he has a card here, like he already has it under his control. So things like that you can't do because you're not a charming, chubby Spanish guy. So, but then imagine when you try to act like a chubby, funny, charming Spanish guy, but you're a dude from Wisconsin. So that one's rough. He even says in his lectures, don't try to imitate, be yourself, but people still try. Exactly. And it's rough to watch. My goodness. I don't know how they think, oh, no, I'm just going to copy what he does and it's going to work. No, it's not. But, there's certain things you could pick and choose. You could pick and change things and do things. But I've seen people literally do it verbatim. And it's like, oh man. Talk about self-defense grenade, right? It makes me want a self-defense grenade myself.
Okay, let's go.
That's so good. That's so fucking good. My goodness. These drops are unbelievable. You guys are not understanding the power of these drops. I don't know if I have one for 6. I know I have one 7, right? It's that one. 8
Royce.
Is Royce. This one's a new one.
Bing bong.
And then 6.
No touching without consent.
Yeah, that's 6. Okay, I forgot that I had that one. As far as consent, right? Whoa. Hey, you're an alien being. You can't touch me without consent. Who wrote that? I want to interview that person that wrote that. I feel like every Danny D'Artis method could be summarized as timing force. Yeah, right? Each and every single one is timing forced. And then my favorite thing is also ignorance. Just ignoring people. Just, call stop whenever you want. Right? Let's say you want to force, I don't know, the Queen of Spades, right? Call stop anytime it feels right to you. Stop right there, or right here, or right here, or right here. Okay, good, right there. It's I hate to say it, but it's molestation magic, right? It's like, no, I didn't want to stop there, but I guess you're too far gone that we really can't go back, and I'm too embarrassed to say something, so I'm just gonna go with what you tell me. That's what it is. I feel in a nutshell. But to watch people do that outside of him is it's very cringy. I still meow in all of my performances. Okay, I'm glad you read that part of expert card technique. That's the hidden chapter that a lot of people don't talk about it. I still meow in all my... Oh, okay, because he meows, right? The other thing that I hate too, unfortunately, that he copies is that that Juan Tamaris thing, right? Juan Tamaris, whenever it comes to his stuff, during the lull, like during the any sort of like a procedural part of a trick, he's there like humming or playing a violin or doing shit. And you know, Danny D'Artes does the exact same thing, and I'm like, all right, I guess maybe you're obviously a student of Juan Tamaris, but boy, is it rough. Is it rough to watch? Because Juan Tamaris could get away with it because, again, he's like, you know, an old, charming Spaniard. And then now you have a chubby, young Spaniard, relatively, copying that. It's like, okay, it's kind of odd. Cat the cards. Meow. Cat the cards. Let me just put something here. If you're a normal, non-Spaniard, non-overweight, if your name is anything other than Danny D'Artes and you make that joke of cat the cards and then you meow, right? Obviously, cat the cards is because it's Spanish, right? He's his Spanish language. Come on, man. Come on. If I ever see you do that,
Bing bong.
that's what's gonna.
Bing bong.
That's what's gonna happen. Is this Portuguese? Are you talking in Portuguese here on the chat all of a sudden? But yeah, so that's my experience at the lecture. Right, I want to dedicate this entire lecture to that, or this entire video to that, whatever that means to you. Hopefully, I could sort out my camera issue and put this video out for tomorrow. But I really want to be a piggy prick about it. I want to wait till I get that camera to do this. So I might just wait and not do it. So we'll see. But that's hopefully for tomorrow. As far as today, I think that's the live stream. We've been going for about an hour and 9 minutes, technically an hour and 6 minutes. So I think that's a good, dissectable, right? You could enjoy this, right? It's not a 2-hour long-winded one where it's like I'm just rambling on stuff. No, you actually got a nice little bit of a fun live stream. And this was really virgin-y, right? You got some magic talk. You got some theory talk. So those of you guys that say, oh, I don't want to watch PigCake talk about stuff, you know, like, politics, right? I think this wasn't political. This was all magic. This was all fun stuff, right? All virgin-y things. So that's about it. I guess if I could leave you with some advice at the end of this particular live stream, boy, man, I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. So after the lecture, right, I got demolished, like absolutely demolished. The bar that I went to, they kept offering me free shots. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to deny free shots. So here's the key, right? People say water. Oh, drink water. Liquor is water. Okay. When you're drinking liquor, that's water. Essentially, it's liquid. So here's the key. When you get back to your house, it doesn't matter if the world is shaking. Take like 2 or 3 Tylenol and then go to sleep. When you wake up, it's like nothing ever happened. So some people say water. Don't believe them, right? Listen, you should trust me. All right? Just take 2 Tylenol and then go to sleep in your dizzy world and you'll be fine. But apart from that,
Bing bong.
see you next one. See you on the next one.